Yeah, man, Summer Purples, welcome to the Black Hole. My name is Blessed Beats. People are always, or shall I say purples, are always on the fence of whether they should buy the MPC Live II right now or the Maschine Mark III or the Plus, you know what I'm saying? I have certainly been on both sides of the fence multiple times over the years. And my dear friend Beggs N Acon, who is here on direct link, live and direct, straight out of motherfucking Oslo right about around now, current with the album Psycho Dyslectic, has been through this journey very recently. You might have seen the video where we actually go to the buying store and follow Beggs N Acon as he makes the buying store purchase of the MPC Live II. And we thought that this might be an interesting introspective for you if you yourself are on the fence, you know what I'm saying? So after you bought the MPC Live II in the video that we made, what happened?
Well, time happened, my friend. Time happened as it always happened. Way too fast. But I bought it. I had it. I used it. I enjoyed many things of it. But I also was frustrated over a bunch of other things. There are things I will love that I really truly loved with this device. The time I used on it, I felt like I didn't produce and make so much as I would have if I had have done the other choice.
Okay, so this just to let people know that don't know you already, you already had the Maschine Mark III from before, right? So you had the experience of the Maschine workflow going into this new dawn, so to speak.
Was a couple of I had the Maschine MK3 and I enjoyed that, and I was happy with that, but I wanted to change up something, you know. I wanted to try this standalone world. It seemed enticing somehow, and also I had like a little dog. I was out much of the time, so I was envisioning, I was seeing him, I had this vision of me being outside in the park on a sunny day, having a beer with my dog, just make some beats, you know, and be free. Then the dog died, and
rest in peace, Tibius.
Yeah, tough times, but yeah, so that need to be outside, make beats, is still enticing, but I'm not sure if I was ever gonna do that. I had this acoustic guitar, and I'm thinking I was gonna go out and play, but I did that once and felt like an idiot. So that might have happened with the MPC also.
Yeah. You know, I have to agree with this. If you're watching and if you're doing this, if you're taking your guitar outside, your MPC outside, you're sitting down, you look like a goddamn fool, man. Don't do that. It's so cringe. No, I'm just kidding. But I understand your sentiment there.
I don't think others will cringe, but you will definitely cringe yourself, you know? And that's like, you feel that more direct, like. Yeah.
So, what are the things that you liked about the MPC Live over the Maschine?
There was a couple of things. I mean, the biggest thing almost was the little speaker. I thought I was gonna be gimmicky as hell, but I truly enjoyed it. It made it so much easier to just get into it, you know? You just power it up and you don't have to plug anything into anything. It just works. It's good enough to get you started. And to get started is the main issue, you know?
I like this thing. I remember this thing you told me another time. You made an analogy about working out is like being in the gym when you're strong or something like that, right? Can you tell again that analogy?
Going to the or working out in the gym, the hardest part is actually getting to the gym, from your house to the gym. You know, put your
As
well,
I
when
said,
you're when you're at the gym, you might as well just push and lift and shove things, and it's not that bad. You're already there, but getting there, that's hard. And it's like that with like guitar. Like if you have a acoustic, you just put it up and you play. If you have electric guitar, okay, it sounds cool. You need to plug it into a little pedal or many pedals. They have to have powers, and then you have to go into the monitor, and maybe if you wanted that into the computer too. I mean, it's a bunch of little details, and then you don't find the power thing, and then you don't find that cable. You use like 30 minutes looking for something before you even get to start. When you start, you're just tired and you don't do nothing. So it's a good thing that you can power it. It's there already. Even though you're tired, you just power it up and just and then, oh, that sound, that was nice. You're going.
I'm on your page with that. I have to say, initially, I thought also that that's just a gimmicky thing. You can just plug in any portable speaker that you want. You can connect an external battery, but these small things does make a difference. It's like that saying, you know, Greece wasn't built in a day.
It wasn't. It was 3 days at least. Mm-hmm.
And the deeper meaning of this saying is pretty much that if we can squeeze and push a little bit, make some rearrangements, and have more efficiency, then Greece will be built so much faster.
Mm-hmm. If you just open the city gates and Greece is there, and you just go to the bar, you go to the restaurant, you're having a good time.
You enjoy yourself, right? Am I right?
Yeah, Greece is great. Greece is great. The other thing I liked with the device, or like it's many things, but like the main things I liked was one, the little speaker, two, the battery, lasted for a good while. The whole thing felt solid. It was like to take out kind of device, maybe too big for it, but also with that size, it sits nice on the lap. Like having it long and wide instead of like the
long and
Maschine.
wide is always better than short, thin, and sharp.
yeah, the Maschine will cut your legs a little bit. Try to give you knee surgery while you're playing it. But so that was so those things were nice. I also liked that, like, if you wanted, if you just hooked up an external hard disk, or you just put some things on the SD cards, everything was there, and it was inside the folders where you have put it. It was like not nicely organized. The splice thing, it came back to life. I had splice, I had downloaded one sound here and there and blah blah blah. I never downloaded the packs. But now I downloaded the packs because they were inside the MPC, ready to go, ready to use. I didn't buy any expansions. I had all the sounds to play with, like, suddenly. So that was great. Every time you get a new device, it takes some time to kind of get into it. And that time is filled with frustration, and at least me speaking to the device and asking it the question, why do you do this? You didn't do that last time I pressed that button, but now you do that. Why? So it took me some time to get into how things was layered up, and how they wanted you to kind of put the song together. After making tons of beats, I still am not comfortable with that way of thinking, and I feel like the beats I made on that on the MPC, they were much more monotone. They were like, you couldn't do so the changes. Yeah, like I can make richer content on the Maschine and it's easier to go back and see where I did what and have control and see how that fits in with everything and how that changes from one sequence to the next sequence, you know. Like Maschine makes you can do it this way or that way, but MPC has this is the way kind of rules in how they build up how the workflows seem to be in my hands.
Obviously, it sounds like your personal preference, you prefer the Maschine workflow over the MPC Live. How would you say that they're different from each other?
I feel like you have to have one track for the kick, one track for the hi-hats, one track for the snares, then another track for the bass, and then another track for this piano and that sample. It's like it gets easily stacked up with sounds, and you have to first kind of build it up, layer it up, and then you copy that, and then you choose which part you play or not play, kind of. Because also after you stacked it up and put it all out, it's hard to go back and change things. It's easier to find every little detail, and you don't need as many tracks, kind of. You can have, because in each pad in Maschine, each pad is also like a you can put all effects you want on every little pad so you can have everything inside a little program in a group, and it can be like, it could be 16 different synthesizers inside if you want to do that, but you could only do one kind of synthesizer inside one kind of program on the MPC. It gets messy fast. It's too big. It's too overwhelming projects with, even though it's less sounds going on.
Yes, I see what you mean. I see what you mean with that. There's a lot of layers to it, and obviously you can become very efficient, very quick, and very good with working with that workflow too. But if you're going to compare the two and put MPC Live next to the Maschine, the structure is dramatically different. You have, on the Maschine, you have a program that you have to assign to a track. You have to record something onto a track, and you said before you have to put a kick on one track and a snare on one track. You don't actually need to do that. You can record all on different, all on the same. But if you want to do something like track mutes afterwards, then it's like everything that's sequencer. The sequencer is almost like a separate entity. Here's all the sounds, the programs that you decide which pads should have which sounds on them. And then the sequencer is another layer where you have to pick, okay, which program should be played on this track? Which program should be played on that track? So there's a lot more layer to it, while on the Maschine, you have a group, you have 16 sounds to put in one group, and there are no tracks because the sounds are also the tracks at the same time. So it's a little bit more dynamic like that.
Yeah, it was easier for me to keep a track of things, at least. And like, it's like if you have also an iPhone, and then you buy the latest super great Android phone. That might have better specs, it might have other things, but you are used to, like, when you push the camera things and the message things is like there, and the pictures are there. It's like everything is turned a little upside down. It's just annoying trying to reprogram yourself too much. And also me going into it, I was fearing that was going to be the issue. I was hoping that getting a new workflow would open my mind and give me new ways to think about it. Maybe I wasn't doing the best way. And maybe it was another better way. It was a good thing to learn new way of thinking in the workflow. But like, I want to make music, and I want to do it now. I have no patience. So It's like going back 10 years. You know?
Do you feel like you lost a significant part of your life during this period?
Nah, not that much, man. But I felt like I could have done much more work if I had chosen another thing. What I did with the MPC a lot more than I thought I would was finger drumming, because it was just turn it on, put in a pattern, put in a kit, and you just play with that. So it got me much more back into finger drumming again, which I kind of fell off a little bit.
So out of the two, which one of the pads do you prefer? Because you do a little bit of finger drumming, you program full productions, both on the Maschine and the MPC. So which one of the pads do you prefer?
I will say Maschine by far. I like that the whole thing is glowing, and also after the MK3. Like, I don't see why one pad should be here and the other pad over here and the other pad, like, they should be close together, which it is on the Maschine, and it's something you had to like on finger drumming on the MPC is much more angry thing. It's angry business. You have to punch that motherfucker. You know, but the Maschine is more. It's lighter touches.
It's a much lighter touch.
But it wasn't. Yeah, it was some getting used to, and then when I bought the Maschine Plus again. Should I go there already?
So after this traumatic experience that you had, what happened?
Yeah. I got the chance. I saw somebody wanting to trade or wanting to sell his Maschine Plus suddenly. And I was all the time being with the MPC, because I was starting to use it less and use the Maschine MK3 on my computer more. So I was just finger drumming in my couch after a while on the MPC, but not making beats. And then going to my computer with my MK3 and making beats.
Yeah.
And then I saw he was selling it, and I asked him if he wanted to trade it. Because trading it made me think like, okay, I pretty much get somewhat the same device, but it's a device that's actually more expensive, and also I know it a little better than this advice, and then also I can sell my MK3 and buy another thing for the same money. So these were the things that made me do it, but it wasn't an easy choice. I was not. It was hard to let it go. I liked the MPC. It had qualities that I loved, but it was more qualities enticing me with the Maschine Plus upgrade, and also being able to sell a device. But then I got it. And first off is the licensing transfer problem issue, Malou. That almost gave me somewhat panic. And then I realized, making the Maschine standalone, that I was much worse on the Maschine just using the controller. I was much worse at it than I thought. Because I started with the Maschine Micro MK2. It was easier to use the computer for many things, because it has menus under the menus under the menus. So you have to shift this up and down, turn this thing. Then you get to the chords or You know, it's more. It's harder to get to the juicy stuff with that controller. And then when I got the MK3, I was already used to use the computer so much. So when I got the Maschine, I was even worse at that as a standalone device than I was on the MPC. And I thought, oh, now I'm really being an idiot. But it forced me to learn those things that another day, another time. I want to learn it, but I just want to make music now, so I learn it another day.
And you learned all of this in the Maschine Noobs Mastery School.
Of course, it's the only school I could ever recommend. It's the best one. I mean, if you're new on the Maschine, you don't buy it, I feel a little bit sorry for you. Life could be so easy and beautiful, but you chose the hard way. It's your life, it's your decisions. I don't know what to say, but come join the right side.
But I think also that once you have learned to use all of the controller functions, because that is one of the main purposes, even from the beginning as a hybrid controller, to be able to get more tactile with it and control everything from the controller surface. Now that you have it standalone, you have to learn how to do that. But even if you go back to working with it in controller mode and using the computer alongside, you can use your muscle memory and do things so much quicker, because there's just some things that are a little bit faster doing on the computer, other things are a little bit faster doing on the controller. So quickly you become more natural with that.
But like on the computer, it's much easier to have an overview, like in the beginning. Or at least for me it was. So when I could do it on the computer, I had to learn it on the controller. And for me, it wasn't the most important. For me was to make music, you know. It's not being the best at using the controller. So if I knew a way to do it on the computer but not on the controller, it was no problem. You do it on the computer, it's done. That was what I was trying to do. But now, but it's definitely a strength if you know how to use the computer. It goes faster, it's easier. If you get that into your muscle memory, you can bang out beats much faster. But I have to be forced to learn some things that...
Sometimes you just want something new to play around with in it.
Yeah. Like I often buy devices and then like setting it up is annoying in itself very often, and then trying to learn all that. I often like buy something, make everything ready, try a little bit, get frustrated, put it away for a little while, do something I know and inspires me, and then another day when I have enough self-confidence and power and energy, I get back to it, and then I fail again and put it away, and then I get back to it the next time, and then I do it, then I make it, and then I know it. I don't know, it's just how I work. If I hit the wall, I don't keep just banging till I destroy the wall. I hit there, is it a window there, is it a door there? Okay, I'll come back when it's a window or a door.
It's like that saying, and it's fail forward. You have to fail to succeed. Drive over the Golden Gate Bridge, do whatever it takes. Just as soon as you get in there, into New York, and you see that Times New Roman, you see the victory right in front of you, just grab it, man. Just grab it. Just go for it. So in hindsight, do you regret do you regret that trade that you made?
I don't regret it now. Like getting over that initial hump of And also that little self, oh shit, I'm worse than I thought I was. And then to get back on it and get a hold of it, and then like, oh, now it's a new toy because I can bang out something fast that I couldn't before. So it's like, it's fun to use the new skills. There are things that I miss. It's like almost like if I was rich enough, I would have both devices, you know, because they have strength and weaknesses. At this price range, you're lucky to have one, kind of. So, and I'm happy with the one that I chose, because all my other work is basically on in that environment.
So it sounds like a lot to me like you were very comfortable with the machine before. So how much would you say, if you would put a percentage on it, how much would you say that it's that you don't prefer the workflow of the MPC, and how much is you just don't know it well enough?
Yeah, probably 60-40, man. 60 I don't prefer it, and 40 I don't know it. Or maybe the other way, but it sounds much better, like me knowing 60%.
Yeah, very appreciative of you sharing this insight with us, because like Cupid from the famous rap group Tribe Called Quest said, voices are like opinions, we all have a different kind. So if you had a word to say to the MPC gang, and you got the microphone right now, you're on the stage, you're in enemy territory on a podium, what would you say to them?
Do your thing, man. If it works for you, it works for you. Come join the dark side. We have cookies.
I'm with you on that. If I could afford it right now, I'd probably have both. I just got the MPC 2500 for nostalgic purposes. It's kind of like when I boot up, you know, Super Mario 64 to play it another time. It's for old memory's sake, but then when I go back to the machine, I feel like, oof, this is a lot more comfortable now. We don't have to go through the past again. It was fun as an event. But and I feel like the MPCs, they're trying to maintain the same workflow with all that. I think that's a smart thing to do, because the people that really prefer the workflow, they wouldn't want it to change, because that's the way that they always worked. And they kudos for like 10 years I had the MPCs and I loved every one of them. But I find the new ways of working with the machine are a little bit more intuitive, and it depends on what you're trying to make, really. We are all at different stages in music. I'm not saying good or bad stages, just what are we trying to do with our music. And back then for me it was a lot about sampling vinyl, chopping the record up, adding some drums. You don't need anything more complicated than the MPC. So I think what I have to say is fuck MPC gang, man.
I love you guys. Please be my friend. For me, it's like, it's all about getting you started, getting into that workflow, that flow state. Get there fast as possible. Get a fundament up, and then be able to use that fundament to something smart. You know, all of these are the things that are important to me, and for me, I do that easier on machine, and I get annoyed somewhat on the MPC.
The break shall be given, Beggs N Acon. Thank you very much for sharing your insights and your knowledgeable intelligence here on this show here today. Is there any final words you want to top it off with? I know you have your psychodyslexia beat tape out, but anything else that you want to share with the audience?
Nothing special. I'm working. I'm almost done, but I'm not. I will be having an album out soon. Everything is pretty much ready. I'm just gonna take some executive decisions here in the end. Yeah.
You got to call the numbers assistant, make sure that all the presidents are on board with the project and the execution plan, make sure the ROI calculations are set.
Yes, yes.
And that pretty much is a smooth ride. There's a lot of executive positions that need to be checked off before you can let it go. But the beat tape is going to be called, or shall we call it even an album? It's going to be called Omelette.
Yeah.
And you can check out for that. And if you want to stay really up to date with Beggs N Acon, I recommend you follow his YouTube channel as well. You can see him making these beats. And I have to say, it is some lo-fi hip-hop greatness right there. Unmeasured by the likes of any other human being on this earth.
Lord, thank you for having me, Bless. It's always a pleasure. Everybody should get up into the Discord. We have great sample challenges. Bless, he will write it down there, I hope. Yeah, good challenges, good people, exchanging information and knowledge, pushing each other forward. Yeah, come join us, help us become better.
Okay, bye-bye.